What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with me, your host. My name is Chad Medved. If you don't know me by now, I'm the host of this podcast. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to Turner Dairy Farms, the creators of Turner's Premium Iced Tea, and the new Cold Brew Haha, and all the limited edition Turner Dairy Milks that you could find. I think right now, if you're lucky, you could still find the chocolate peanut butter. I would rush out a little bit quickly because they got to be running out by now if they haven't. I would be surprised. No stores around me carry the limited edition milks. And if they do carry them, I think that they sell out so fast that I can't get them. I've had them here and there. It's like finding a golden nugget or like a hidden gem, if you will. But Turner Dairy Farms, killing it as always. If you haven't yet, their Cold Brew Haha is bottled cold brew coffee. I've recently found that at a gas station next to my work, so I've been going hard on that. But I appreciate them as always. It's a pleasure to work with them. Another thing I wanted to talk about this week, just because it's kind of like fresh on the mind. So we've been looking at houses for a long, long time, probably like a year, maybe a little bit more than a year. And I guess that sounds like a long time, but I mean, you got 3 months of a virus, you got a month of people not putting shit out. So just over a year. I don't know if that's a long time or not. I don't know how long people look for houses, but we thought we found a house that was like super dope. We saw it and we were pumped about it. Super geeked, like, yeah, dope house, could be it, could be it. They're saying, like, how when you fall in love, supposedly, you feel something. They say that whenever you walk into a house, it feels like a home. And this one kind of did a little bit, but I'm very skeptical about homes because I know people are trying to Mickey Mouse everything and put shit together and make it look nice, but I know that there's negatives about it all, right? There got to be. And we were almost deceived. But I brought the old metal detector over. My father, who built houses for many years, and, he walks in the house and he's immediately just shaking his head. And I was like, well... there goes all the wind out of my sails. And he's just downstairs with his fucking flashlight, pointing out the most blatantly obvious things that I just did not see. He's like, there's fucking water running down this wall. And I'm just like, Jesus. So needless to say, we ain't getting a house, but I'm still doing the podcast and I'm still living life. And I love it. I think everything is pretty much open nowadays. Me and Antoinette have been going out ordering food. We've been going hard on Salim's. I don't think we've eaten at any other restaurant other than Salim's in got to be 2 weeks now. I know that doesn't sound like a long time, but we eat out a lot. But Salim's Market in the Strip is a hidden gem, just like some Turner's products. But I mean, everything that you get there, everything that we have gotten there is absolutely delicious. I messaged them to try to talk with them because I want to know where this is coming from. I want to know who is responsible for, one of the best meals that I've had in the city. I need to know who's responsible for it. But the mugs that I recently got in are selling very well, and I appreciate everyone out there who is currently sipping from a chalice filled with coffee, I guess. I don't know. I really don't drink anything else out of mugs besides for coffee, but the mugs that I got, I have to say, are super nice, very, very great quality. Got a big-ass handhold in there. They're 15 ounces. They're the big dogs. I ain't messing around. I don't want a sip of coffee. I want a nice gulp. You just want a nice mug. And these are nice mugs. I can't say nothing else about it besides that they're nice mugs. They're priced accordingly. $15 a mug. Come on. People are spending $8 on a coffee at Starbucks. I'm out here in the trenches, just trying to make something out of myself, trying to live the American dream. So if you like coffee and you like mugs and you like patronizing nice people, hop on over to the website, www.I'llCallYouRightBack.com, and I got 3 different styles on there, but I call them the mean mugs. I come up with weird names, I guess, but hop on there. I think I don't know how many there are left of each, but I'm selling them, so grab yours while you can. But the reason that everyone is here, we got a great episode this week as usual. I'm pumped that we're back to the guests. It was, geez, that ain't the coronavirus. Just a little hoarse, but I'm pumped that we're back to the guests. It's refreshing to be able to have conversations with different people, you know what I mean? Different people that do different things, and it's just nice to be back to normal, I'm struggling whether or not to incorporate solo episodes into the podcast. I ran a poll on the Instagram, and I got, I think 230 people looked at it. I think 38 people voted yes, and 4 people voted no if I should continue to work in some solo episodes. So I messaged the 4 people that said no, and I said, can I please have constructive criticism on what you disliked about them? Because I just wanted to know, like, if it was just like I just wanted to know. But 3 of them said, my bad, bro, I was hitting through stories and I hit no. And that's happened to me numerous times. One time I was actually just scrolling through someone's story, and they had a question that was like, if you're interested in more about Arbonne, hit yes. And I was scrolling through these, and you already know I hit yes. And she messaged me and said, I don't think that you were serious about this, and it must have been an accident, but were you? And I said, nah. And that's whenever I unfollowed her. But hey, what can you do? But anyway, if you like the solo episodes, please let me know if you want to hear them. Someone said start a patronage or Patreon. I think that's real weak. I don't want to like ask people to like pledge money to get a fucking episode. Come on. Realistically, there ain't no podcast in the city that should be putting money walls above their episodes. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I'll do some episodes of me just bullshitting. I could talk, obviously. But anyway, the reason we're here, Steve Crump, one of the creators of Good Sports. Good Sports is a wonderful brand in the city of Pittsburgh. Before this conversation, I would have called them a skater-focused, a skateboard brand, but I have to retract that statement. And, they're just a brand, Steve and Jake are just like putting out the most unique things that I've seen in the city, I think. Especially their lookbook that you will be able to acquire tomorrow on their website or at Zeds. They're doing a brand new drop. It's titled 2002. It's just a whole drop of clothes. You got shorts, crew necks, t-shirts, all kinds of shit. But Steve came over. We talked all about Good Sports. We talked about how he kind of began it, what his life was like in the beginning, how he got into skateboarding, the whole 9 on how someone, kind of mingles his way into a world and kind of like kills it. You know what I mean? Like these 2 are sewing their own tags in these shirts, printing their own shirts in the garage. They spare no expense with detail. Their attention to detail is just like, it's impeccable. And so Steve brought over this lookbook, and I was blown away by this lookbook. It's some pages of their current pieces that are going to be dropping tomorrow on their website, and it's just like, it blew me away. It's like looking at a blend of CCS, Thrasher, all kinds of just like the old nostalgic magazines. Like it was, I don't know, it's so dope. Like the whole thing from beginning to end is just like it has such like a cool feel to every bit of it. I strongly urge you to check them out. You could follow them at Good Sports PGH. They're a fantastic brand, I'm telling you. And the episode was great. Like, I didn't know too much about Steve. I would go into Zeds because he works there as well. And, like, we would just say, what's up, like small talk. But it was, like, really cool to be able to have him come over and, get the full effect and talk for a minute and really, like, kind of learn what him and Jake are doing with Good Sports. And I hope you enjoy it. So, without further ado, episode 124, I think. 124 of I'll Call You Right Back with Steve Crump of Good Sports PGH.
I gotta use the telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast. The air conditioner it has a little buzz on it, but it's too fucking hot to turn it off.
Yeah.
But
take the sweatshirt off already.
yeah, I have more people come here because, like, I feel the environment is easier to control. Like, if I go places, like, certain people I'll go out for, like Big Germ, I ain't gonna make him come here. You know what I mean? I'm gonna interview him at ID Labs. But going there, there could be, like, shit that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, I interviewed DJ Afterthought, and there was a fucking construction worker next door, literally not next door in a building, but next door in the next room, fucking pounded on the fucking wall. And I was like, bro, like, that can't happen.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll have him paint then. And I'm just like, what? But anyway, I like to have people come here because it's, like, more comfortable if it's not 1,000,000 degrees.
Yeah.
People just, it's like I don't know, dude. That's why I don't do video, I feel, is because, like, it's a little bit more of, like, a level of, you have to be so conscious of yourself. People are on, like, camera, like, adjusting their shit and everything. Yeah. It's just nice. Everyone's sitting at a couch. We're just sitting here.
I do like listening to podcasts in the car. I love it, but I also like when I'm working on the computer at home and I can actually see them talking to. Yeah. But mostly in the car. So I think that makes sense.
I think the main reason I have not gone to video yet is because I don't really watch podcasts unless it's like someone like I turned on Tony Hawk on Rogan and, like, people of interest that I want to see, like Action Bronson, whenever he's on Rogan and he's just burning them big logs the whole time. Like, you want to see that. But, I listen to a lot of it. So it's like video is like almost like I don't have a big enough following for people to care about video. You know what I mean?
Like, you know what the 9 Club is?
Yeah.
Like that, like they always bring stuff out, and it's like you're in the car and you're like, well, I want to see that, or like they're talking about a clip that just happened, and you're like, well, I can't even see it.
Yeah, that's for sure too. That's a really good point.
Totally different. Like when you're just talking one on one.
I feel like if I end up getting a house, I'm gonna build a studio in there, and I'll be able to do video. But, like, I don't want to start video just, like, in my spare room, and, like, have people just, like, in front of a fucking sheet, like, between two ferns with Zach Galifianakis. Like, that's what it would look like. But if you could wait until it's like you have a place and you could, like, build, like, a nice little backdrop and shit, like, it'll all be good. But all right, I'm excited to do this. I've known you guys for a while now. I've been pretty savvy to Good Sports for a good bit. Yeah. When did it start?
2015. It started. Always wanted to do something like that, and then I tried a couple things in the past, never worked out, and then I remember the one night. I usually work best, like, late hours of the night. Yeah. And I just came up with that design and then, like, the main logo and texted it to Jake. And I was like, that's it. Like, I just felt like that was it.
I thought Yins were brothers.
Yeah?
I thought Yins were... I swear someone told me that Yins were brothers, I think. I think someone that I interviewed before I met Yins, like, met both Yins, I think that they said that you two were brothers. And I just, like, kind of...
Maybe he was thinking of Chase and Zach.
Yeah, who knows? But so, how are Yins related? Are Yins related?
Yeah, our moms are sisters.
Oh, okay, so that's cool.
So,
then.
Yeah, forever been around.
And he has been involved in Good Sports since the beginning.
Yes.
Okay, so I definitely remember hearing about it. I was trying to think of where I would have heard about it. It had to be just probably on Instagram, maybe. I think.
Most likely.
Yeah, I would say so. But, like, where did you grow up? I don't really know too much about your backstory.
I grew up in Bethel Park in South Hills.
Oh, okay.
And I lived, at my parents'
You went to
same
Bethel
house.
Park?
Yes. Went to Bethel Park. Lived there my whole life. Just got an apartment this year, finally, in Bethel
dope.
Park.
That's dope. That's all right. Bethel
But,
Park
yeah.
is a cool place.
It's pretty chill, yeah.
How old are you?
25.
Okay. I didn't know nothing about you. I knew that you two and like the Zeds too, like I just knew that you guys were like on that block down there. I just didn't know any of your backstories at all. I just knew of you guys being in that shop and like slinging all this stuff. And it's pretty interesting to me because like over the years of me like kind of knowing who you guys were a little bit more, I start to like pay attention more to what you guys are doing just because like we follow each other on shit. And I always see you guys putting out stuff. And you guys seem to be putting out like some pretty quality shit.
We're trying to, I definitely we both put a lot of time and effort into everything.
Attention to detail.
And details, definitely got to have everything detailed, packaged right.
Yeah, I like that. And I think that right there is like a good, that's like a proof of like who goes a little bit beyond. Like you just brought me that sticker pack. Like that looks like something that you would just buy out of a store. And like this new, like what would you call this? A zine?
Yeah, I call it like the Lookbook magazine, basically, just because
I
is
like
the
that
lookbook,
better
but
than zine, I think.
Yeah, zine. Yeah, and zines are definitely the smaller ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, but this thing
With a bunch of photos.
that you just gave me, is this out yet? This isn't out yet? Friday this comes out, so tomorrow. I mean, this is definitely one of the coolest things that I've ever seen put out that's not like an actual piece of like something you could, like not like a t-shirt, not like a garment. It's just like a fucking book that you guys decided to like go a little bit extra on.
And make something different.
Insane. I picked it up and it literally looks like a CCS, but like in its best way. Like you definitely have your own style on it. You definitely have like your own way of doing it. It's just a dope ass photo. I'm like super impressed by this.
I appreciate that. Yeah, making old looking advertisements is probably my favorite thing now.
I mean, like, where does this even come from? Like, what were you like when you were younger?
When I was younger, basically, I think it was the reason that's the new collection's called 2002 is because I started skating in 2002. I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And that basically started everything.
How did you get into skateboarding?
I'm not exactly sure which one it was, but there were two at the same time situations. I had friends up the street, and the one day we were all going out, like it was me, my sister, and my friend Corey, and we're going out to like scooter bike, and sister took the bike, he took the scooter, and then there was a skateboard just all dusty there, and I took it, and I was like, this is fun, and then kind of forgot about it, and then that Christmas, my older cousin, Alan
Crump.
Alan Crump.
I literally didn't even think about that right now until you just said that.
I was about to say, I figured you might have known him.
Yeah, I definitely know who he is.
But he got a Black Label complete skateboard for Christmas, and I was like, all right, I need to get one. And then finally got the Dick starter board.
That's what I think I got a Veriflex. My first skateboard was a Veriflex from Kmart.
Veriflex?
It had an alien that was like doing like a Christ Air on it. And it was just real funny looking.
I know mine was a X Games board with like the original X Games logo, and it was like repeated in the background. It was red.
Them super hard wheels.
Yeah,
them things were funny. I remember that skateboard was cool, but then like I immediately
switch after you see people with the good stuff.
Immediately, because like a kid that I grew up with who was like, he was like a fucking who everyone looked up to whenever we were skateboarding. His name was Jake Whiteman, and he was just like, dude, tray flip. Like no one ever was doing it.
Yeah.
And he was the only one. And like I saw this dude wearing Birdhouse. He was wearing Dickies, dope ass skate shoes, and it's just like immediately I'm like, I like skateboarding, but I don't have any of the real stuff yet. And it's like, fuck. That was like the transition of me knowing what was cool, rather than just like buying a random skateboard.
Yeah.
It's like that's whenever I started to learn like brands and stuff like that.
And also back then, which is way cooler, is that like when you see someone in skate clothes or skate shoes, like you know they're a skater. Today, there's no telling.
Yeah, everyone wears, it's all fair game now. Everyone
But back
off
then, you see
everyone's.
like a kid at school in an independent shirt. You know that kid is skating, and you're
100%.
gonna want to meet him.
Yeah, 100%. Dickies too.
Yeah,
like
Dickies.
no one else was wearing Dickies back then.
Nah,
he
I
was
remember.
wearing some teal baggy ass Dickies, and I loved it. I thought that it was the coolest thing ever. And a birdhouse skate shirt.
I remember the first time, I would see everyone in Dickies, and I was probably a little older, like 12, and I was like, to my mom, I was like, I need to get some Dickies. And then I remember getting them, and I was like, these feel kind of weird, but they
They're
look
like
sick.
a box. Dude, I just told Antoinette that. I was like, the first time I bought Dickies, I couldn't wait to wear them. I bought them on a Sunday after church. I remember this all day. They were a dark pair of blue Dickies at Kmart. Bought these things, and I was going to skate with everyone, and I was like, I got to put these Dickies on. And I put them on, and it was like wearing a fucking cardboard box.
Exactly. You got to break them in.
Yeah, you got to break them in a little bit. I'm curious though. It's like, so if you got that Xbox I said Xbox X Games board, Alan Crump was like the transition to knowing about like what the real stuff was. Is that what it was?
Do you know who Casey Del Percio is?
No.
He lived up the street from me. I was like best friends with his brother Corey, who was my age.
Yeah.
And Alan, like, he helped out a lot too. But I was up at their house every day.
Yeah.
And his older brother was like just on it, like.
So
with all the
he
cool
knew
stuff.
all
Yeah.
the new shit, like all the cool stuff.
And him and his friends would be skating, and then we were just the younger kids on the block skating, and then you would just see them. And
That's the coolest part about being around older people is like, you know, I had an older brother who was 6 years older than me. And like that, he's like a coffee filter for all the cool shit. It's like he lets all the dumbass shit go by, and like I
Yeah.
see what he gravitates towards, and it's like I immediately gravitate towards it. So it's like it's cool to have that little buffer.
yeah, just having someone that knows everything already, and then you help them out down the road.
Absolutely. What was your first real skateboard?
Blind. Immediately. I remember like
Yeah.
it was yesterday in the CCS catalog. I was like, I circled it. That's the one. Got it for the next following birthday. And then
What was the graphic?
the graphic I initially wanted was sold out, and it was like green, and it had little skull giving the middle finger, and it had like gold coins all around it. But it was sold out, so I had to get this one. It was black with the blind logo and bleeding text.
Yeah.
And then just a little Reaper on the left.
Man, blind. I feel like blind, independent, the independent cross, the Spitfire Flamehead, and the blind Reaper.
Yeah.
Were probably like the most iconic things.
Another one that really got me was Speed Demons Bearings, that little guy.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. That's a good point. I feel like that was. I definitely remember seeing that, but I remember everyone wearing blind shit. I remember everyone had independent shit, and it's like my first skateboard. You said you got your first one at CCS.
Yeah.
I feel like that whenever I was younger, I never ordered shit from CCS. I grew up around Cheapskates.
Yeah.
So Cheapskates was like right there. And my first board that I ever got was from the Edge. It was
Edge. I remember the Edge.
It was a DNA. It was like the real DNA team. The Jimmy Chadwick.
The real.
Yeah. No, I mean, no hate to them guys, but like I never understood what they're doing. It's like there was a DNA team. I still don't get it, but whatever. Anyway, I do an opening segment on the podcast called "What's in the Cup."
What's in the cup?
What's in your can?
We got Corona, ice cold Corona.
Ice cold Corona Extra. I think you're the first person that had Corona on here.
Have other people had beer on here?
Oh yeah.
Because I watched the majority of the episodes. There's like a few I missed, but I feel like I haven't noticed anyone had beer.
Kevin Drobish had some like coffee beer, and someone else had like a Truly or something. But it's just like I would get people that,
Yeah.
but like I told you, it's like I'm not going to drink
Yeah.
another 6-pack. So I usually will. I mean, I'll go get a nice drink from a gas station.
Yeah.
But my whole
No,
thing
I
about
understand.
what's in the cup is like whenever I ask people like, "What's your favorite drink of all time?" It's like, you know that feeling like before you guys would go skateboarding and you would go to the corner store or
Yeah.
like your buy and fly and you would like be like, fuck yeah, and like you'd load up on what you'd want. And it was always like Turner's tea, it was always like some peach rings and like just like a big ass water or a Gatorade.
Arizona green tea.
Yeah.
99 cents.
Yeah, you can't beat that. Arizona Diet Green Tea.
That was the go-to.
That's the shit. So if you had a blind first, a blind skateboard first, like are you now this is going to be a loaded question because Good Sports is the name.
Yeah.
You guys have like a bunch of like hints towards these other sports, but it's a skateboard brand. No?
I wouldn't say it's fully a skateboard brand. I would like it to obviously go in that direction, but that is a hard direction to go in because I feel like with like having like a skate brand, it's like there's so many and like that's too distinctive. Like you need to expand from that. Like that's why I like having it at Zeds and getting it out that way. But also I have like the skaters who actually skate and do it too. So it's like it's kind of a little bit for everybody.
I like that.
But no, I wouldn't say it's either or yet.
Yeah. But it has influence from it.
Oh,
obviously.
100%, everything.
Yeah. Now, the reason I asked that is like, were you into sports growing up, like regular sports?
Yeah.
Like, did you play?
Yeah, I did the typical rec soccer, basketball, and then I was playing baseball and played up until, I don't know if it was 7th or 8th grade, and I was a pretty good pitcher. I'd strike people out.
Yeah, no big deal.
No big deal. And then, I broke my thumb skating, and then during that period, I just was like, I hate going to practice. Like, practice was pointless to me. I had fun at the games, but I didn't like to go to practice because I'd rather be skating.
Worst.
And if you don't go to practice, you can't play.
Yep.
And then my dad was like, you do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do is fine, but you just have to finish out the season. And I was like, all right, I'm done after this.
Hanging up the cleats.
And that was it.
That was the worst thing. I'll never remember. We had like, I'll never forget, I had like football camp in the summer. We'd have to go and like, you know who B. Matty is? He did like music for a minute, but anyway, he skated his entire life. He like put me onto all the ice creams, everything. But he had minis. He had mini ramps in his house. I think he had like 3 different ones. But in the summertime, we would wake up and we would all just be there.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
I remember you saying that in the one episode.
Dude,
I forget whose it was.
It ripped my heart out because like everyone would just be there. It would be like, I think it would be like 12:30. I think practice was at like 1 to 3 or some shit. And I would just have to leave and no one else left. I was the only one that played football that had to leave.
Did you enjoy football?
No, I talk about it on here a lot. I don't even know why I've ever played it. Probably just because like I was like a big dude and like my brother was like, he played basketball, played baseball, soccer. He was like a jock kind of. Yeah. But, I was just a fat dude. I played football my entire life. But I think about it now, I don't know why I ever did. I don't watch any sports whatsoever. I watch hockey.
Your whole life, you never watched sports?
Never gave a shit about it.
No.
Never gave a shit about it.
I'm the same way.
I like UFC, though. Like, I'm dead.
UFC?
I'm a big UFC guy. But, like, other than that, I don't watch anything.
I recently, funny enough, working at Zeds, like, finally, like, they love Steelers,
basketball,
love football. And I finally got into it way more now. Like, I watch all the games. But before that, like, I didn't really care.
Yeah, it's like, it's weird because, like, you're, like, shunned in Pittsburgh if you don't love the Steelers.
Teams,
yeah, drink in Iron City and be down there. But it's like, I would rather die than just watch that. And I don't know. It's people always message me like, "Oh, talk to a Steeler." I'm like, "Yeah, like I could get a Steeler on here first of all." But if I could,
what would you talk about?
I would basically, I feel like it would be a bad conversation because I'd be like, "What do you think about brain damage?" And like, "Do you think about that?" It's like,
probably not.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, they're making a check. But regardless, like I was just never really into sports. I loved skateboarding. I remember, I would just like be obsessed with watching shit. Video games, going out with all these dudes. Never good in my life. I was never good in my life.
Did you kickflip?
No. Fuck no.
Never?
I did on an accident, but I used to be able to ollie and shit, but it's like I would just film shit for people. And I was never one of them doing kickflips. Yeah. But I would be cruising around.
But you had fun.
Never on no longboard, though. I knew the rules.
Yeah.
But I could drop in on a ramp. Shitty, but I could drop in on a ramp.
Rock the fakie?
I did before. I actually did do that before. I was able to do some stalls, but I took some slams in my life. But I never really like front and say like that I was like some crazy, doing some fucking tricks and everything. Yeah. I just loved it. I loved everything about it. And probably, I mean, it was a good thing to attach on to.
It's like one of the things you can just go out and do and not think about a single thing besides the moment of what you're doing.
Yeah, it's just fun.
To me, at least, yeah.
You don't really need too much. I mean, you just got that skateboard. And I was just friends with, like, all the kids who were like good at skateboarding.
Yeah.
I would just sit there and just watch these dudes fucking do all this crazy shit. It would just blow my mind. I'm curious though. What?
I was gonna say, were you an 885 kid?
I've been to 885, but we would go to like 885, but like we would go to like Haas's at Century 3.
The Manny Pad?
Yeah, like Haas's, McKeesport High School, Malayans, Beehive, not the coffee shop Beehive, but the other Beehive. And like Maddie had mini ramps all the time. I used to I built him a box. We would make do for what it was, drive around Pittsburgh and shit, but it was never like, I don't ever remember them going to like the Cheapskates, whenever Cheapskates first location at a park.
That's one place I never went to.
Not even the second location of it?
Nah, I went to, because whenever, I first started skating and 885 was open, OneUp was at 885.
Yeah.
And then I
That's a
remember
good point.
getting my first t-shirt off Greg.
Yeah.
This independent tee. I'll never forget that day.
Old Greg. It's interesting because like the OneUp kids and the Cheapskates kids, they like, it was like, oil and water.
Yeah.
They didn't mingle.
Yeah.
We felt weird going to OneUp.
It's still in a sense like that today, I feel like, with other shops around the city. Like,
is there even another skate shop around the city?
There's a few.
See, OneUp, that's how much I care about it, I don't know another fucking skate shop around. Shout out OneUp.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Shout out OneUp.
Cheapskates and OneUp, like, it was like you either went to one or the other.
Yeah.
But if we would mingle down there, we felt unwelcomed. and I even I told Greg that. I was like, you guys were kind of fucking assholes for a minute. And he was like, yeah, we kind of were, but I mean, like, it was rightly so. And like, I get it.
It was like, you had to get like a feel for it, and like, then you get welcomed in.
You had to be in
to
the crowd.
Like, even to this day, I feel like you can't just walk in there, and we can walk in there and everything's cool. But like, there's definitely a group of kids hanging out, and
100%.
You might feel intimidated.
Yeah,
like, if you don't know them,
Yeah, 100%. Now, in like middle school and shit like that, are you like hardcore into everything? Like, you're skating all the time?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And in middle school, South Park skate park opened up, and once that opened, I was there
with
every
that
day
cliff.
after school, all weekend.
With that cliff of a half pipe. You ever drop in on that?
I have. Just
have
to
you?
say I did, yeah.
Wow. Did you fall the first time?
Nah.
Really?
I just did it.
Jeez. That thing is terrifying. I probably wouldn't do that if someone paid me.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna, like, if someone asks, like, little kids are like, can you drop in? It's like, yeah, but no.
Yeah, but no. How old were you when you did that? Yeah, but no.
I don't know.
Don't ask.
16, 17?
That's pretty wild. Like, that thing is pretty aggressive.
I didn't do it, like, whenever I first got there, but then my one friend was actually up there about to do it, and he was up there for so long. I was like, all right, you just got to do it. I did it. He did it right after me. Everything was good.
That's dope. That's cool to be able to say you did that. So, I mean, like, besides for skateboarding, I know that probably took up the majority of your life, but, like, was there anything else that you guys were doing?
Mainly skating. Like,
yeah.
I even had, like, friends that'd be like, you skate too much, Like,
yeah.
Because when you're younger, like, other kids aren't as into it as you,
Oh, absolutely. Are you just like in the driveway?
That's, like, all
just
I
like,
want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, had the whole setup in the driveway
That's
with like
dope.
ramps. Had a like X Factor little setup before you hit your head on the garage going in.
Yeah, for sure.
But
X Factor ramps. Jeez.
Yeah.
Forgot about them for a minute.
X Factor.
Those things were funny.
But always been into like drawing too. Like, I was into that since I was like,
Really?
since like the first art class I had in grade school, like first grade.
Yeah, like I was pretty interested on how that like all mingled together, because obviously like
And it helped a lot. My he was my art teacher from like first to fourth grade,
Yeah.
and he ended up being my high school teacher. But he was a skater back in the day, named Mr. Wallish, and I skated with him when I got older at the park.
Really?
And yeah,
That's pretty sick.
that was pretty cool though. But he was like, he had skate pictures in the art room, and I'm just like the young kid seeing that, and I'm like, this is so sick. And
Yeah.
that probably helped me like art even more too.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah.
You were always into it though.
Oh yeah.
It's
Lots of art.
interesting to see how like because I mean you kind of want to find like me as someone trying to figure out who you are. Like I wanted to find like the line of where that all like kind of went together.
Yeah.
Because you're obviously a fan of the skateboarding, but with you guys doing like, I mean, I keep saying you guys. There's, I mean, like two of you and shit, but I know that you do a good bit of this stuff. With you doing this, I mean, you have to have some sort of like creative bone in your body.
Yeah.
It's like how do you like? When did you start messing around with like the digital stuff?
I want to say 10th grade. In high school, Bethel had an intro to graphics class.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, I'm taking it. And then
Yeah.
I took it. I fell in love immediately. Then took the regular one after that. And then ended up getting like my own computer, doing stuff on my computer. And then went to school for it at Cal U.
Really?
Yeah.
You went to school for graphic design?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
It was definitely, yeah, I could talk about school, but I feel like I didn't need to go. But
Yeah.
you
Usually
feel forced
you don't.
to in a sense, but
Yeah, you kind of
it's over. It's
whatever.
done.
It's over. And done. Did you like Cal?
I can't really call that question because I lived there the first semester, and it was just go to class, do my homework, go out and skate for a little, and then party.
Yeah.
And I was like, after like a semester, that was like, all my friends are back home. Because when you're a skater, I feel like it's different. Like if you don't find people who skate, like I don't play video games. I'm not like just chilling and doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's what everyone's doing in college. And I was like,
Yeah.
I can't be doing this.
Yeah.
So I came back here and commuted, and way better.
Yeah.
I just went to school, got my shit done, came home, went to work, and then did whatever I wanted.
Did you enjoy school? Like not even just college, but like coming up?
Not really. I
No?
hated it.
Yeah. You've been thinking for so long. No, I hated it. Like you didn't like high school at all?
No,
Okay.
not really.
I feel like whenever I ask people that, it gives you kind of like a good idea of just like where you are in high school. Like if you're someone that's just like I could get on the path. If you were like, yeah, I fucking loved high school.
Yeah.
I'd be like, were you into like extracurriculars?
Yeah,
But
big
obviously, if
differences.
you didn't like it, you're out of there.
Like
So,
in high school, or you can go.
I mean, I was just gonna ask you, like, if you had like an idea of what you were gonna do. Like, did you know since 10th grade that you were gonna be like a graphic design major?
No, I had no idea. The
What
only
did you
thing
want to do before that?
on my mind is I just wanted to do something for the rest of my life that makes me happy. Like I've had not many, but I've had a decent bit of shitty jobs.
Yeah.
And just working those jobs and then thinking about even like working an office job later in life, it's like I don't know how people do it.
Hey,
I
it ain't-
couldn't do it.
hey, it ain't
I even
fun.
wrote a paper in college basically saying literally saying I'd rather die than have to live that life, and I'm doing anything I can do to not be there.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, did you have like what was like your little kid dream? Like some little kids want to be
Pro
fucking
skater, of course.
astronauts. Okay, that's cool though.
I wrote that in the in 4th grade. You got to write your profession under your picture. It was
Pro skater.
Yeah.
That's dope. Now, who was like your favorite skateboarder back then? Like, who was the first guy that you gravitated towards?
First guy I gravitated towards.
Fucking loved Rodney Mullen.
Shit, Ronnie Mullen was you?
Ronnie Mullen?
I know you said that.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sickening.
There's so many. Like over like the years, like I look back and I'm like, it was this person at this point, this person,
Yeah.
that person. But like, I don't know. One of the first videos I got was the DC video, and seeing that.
Which one? Who was in it? Was it?
It's like-
Rob Deerdeck in there.
Rob Dyrdek was in there. It was the introduction to Big Black.
Yeah, and he was in there. He was featured in some of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
He
I
had a
remember
big part
seeing
of
that.
it. But yeah, I don't know.
It's weird
There's so
because
many.
there's different classes of it all. It's like I remember Rodney Mullen was who I loved in the beginning. Then I switched to loving Bob Burnquist. I don't know why. And then I love Chad Muska.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Chad Muska definitely when Tony Hawk came out. Of course.
Yeah, Chad Muska was dope for some reason. Like I felt like a lot of people liked him. Were you part of like the whole like CKY and all that, like Haggard and like Jackass?
To an extent, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, my friend's older brother was into all that stuff. Like had the hats, like Jackass hat and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
you'd watch it late at night with them, and like definitely into it, but not so much.
You guys were like
at the time
because you're how old are you right now?
25.
25. So like 5 years of a difference. I bet you could have missed like you guys. You probably had like the tail end of it all.
Yeah.
Because I
I
feel
definitely
like I
watched
almost
Jackass,
missed
but I never watched CKY. I've
s-
seen like documentaries about it, but I've never seen the original ones.
What, that dumb one? Did you ever watch that dumb documentary?
Yeah, I
about
did
Big
watch
Brother?
that. Yeah. What do you think of
Incredible.
that?
I thought it was great. I missed the whole Big Brother train. And it makes me sick that I did, because like, did you ever look at any of the episodes of Big Brother, like the magazine?
I've seen a few.
Yeah,
but like not back then. No,
it's fucked up, because like I feel like that wasn't even. I mean, even my friends that I knew that were like crazy into skateboarding, I don't remember even ever really looking into them. Like, I don't remember everyone having them, but watching that documentary, it's like pretty crazy on how big of an impact it had.
Yeah.
And I started looking them up to try to collect them, because I just like collecting things. Issues are like $50 a piece.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I ain't even getting into it, because I'll become obsessed with it, and I'll feel like I have to get
like
everything.
the magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny, because when they were cleaning out
OneUp
a little bit ago,
there was a bunch of
a bunch of old magazines, and I've been doing stuff with old magazines, and I just love getting inspiration from old magazines. And Greg, he kept his Big Brothers.
Yeah, Greg
I got
says,
like all the other ones, but he definitely had to keep those.
He said that he got like 3/4 of them, I think.
Yeah.
And it would be dope to be able to like look through all of them.
Yeah,
now,
just to have that collection.
if you're in like, I mean, if you're in high school and shit like that, and you're on your way to Cal, it's like, you said that you probably didn't have to go to school, but like, did you have an idea of what you were gonna try to be after you got a graphic design idea?
Not an idea.
Okay. I
Not
like
a
that
single
though.
idea.
I like that. We're just out here trying to figure it out, you know?
I just knew like that is something I was good at. If I'm going to school, if I have to go to school, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And then try to do something along the way.
Now, did you have a brand at this time?
Going to school?
Yeah, like you said, you had a couple projects before Good Sports.
Some of them were just ideas that never happened.
But it wasn't like you weren't like putting out pieces.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
There was one thing, I don't even want to talk about it, but we made a few shirts, did well, things happened, and it was just like, and then you look back on it, it was like terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I had a clothing brand like 7 years ago. I hate it. I hate what I put out.
You still have the shirts?
I have so many of them. It was Lost Boys clothing. Like right now, I look at it and it kind of makes me think like, why would I ever put that out? But at that point in life, like that's every single ounce of like my heart and soul
Exactly.
was into those pieces, and it's like I could sit here and say it was trash, but like that's a fucking chapter in my life. Like the Lost Boys shit, it's like I lived and breathed it for a minute.
Yeah.
You live from it, you do it, and you learn from it. And now I make stuff under this brand, and you know, I've benefited because of doing all that fucked up shit. I think I ordered like fucking 50 of the first two designs.
At the first time?
Yeah, just like stupid, dude. Just so dumb, just shooting for the moon. And like it was cool though, but like it was cool because like my family's like not very entrepreneurial. Like, do you have anyone in your family that's like entrepreneurial?
Not really.
Like your parents both have corporate jobs?
Yeah, my dad actually worked as a jail guard like almost his whole life.
Oh wow.
And now he's retired.
Well, that's cool.
My mom, she would like cleaned houses for a while,
Yeah.
and then she like worked just some little jobs. Now she's at like a hair salon, but nothing crazy.
Yeah. Now, do you have like I mean, before you did these brands and everything, did you have like a goal of wanting to create your own brand?
Yeah, it's on the level of like you see like all this stuff and you're like, I could do it this way, I could do it that way, and like
Yeah.
just already knowing how to do all that stuff and like being in love with clothes since Nike SBs were popping, like that started it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, just knowing that I want to make some things that I want to wear, and it's cool because like I can look in my closet and be like, I need this color of this, and then you come up with the graphic and then you make it, and now I have a new shirt that I can wear, and hopefully other people like to wear too.
Yeah, it's dope to
That's
be
the
able to
main
make
thing.
your own stuff.
Yeah.
And just wear your own stuff. And it's like, I made that Scream shirt, and, you know, I'll wear it out. Like, I wore it out around, like, Halloween and stuff, and, like, a couple people asked me, it's like, that makes you feel good. It's
Yeah.
like, if you're wearing stuff and that you created, or if you see someone wearing...
Seeing them wear, yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's wild. I went to that Lost Boy shit. I had a black and gold tank top. And the first time I ever seen it was I walked into the Wiz Khalifa show, and I saw some dude wearing this tank top. And
You didn't
like,
know?
I almost cried, dude. I swear to God, I almost cried. I was like, yo, dude, where'd you get that tank top? And he was like, why? Like a fucking dick, like random dude at a concert. And I was like, I make that. And he was like, oh, really? And like we started talking, and you know, like that stuff right there is like, I feel like that moment right there was like everything I ever needed to know that I could succeed at things. Just got to figure it out.
Yeah, it's definitely very cool to see people wearing it, especially people you don't know, and you're just like, you see them wear it, and you're just like,
it's kind of weird.
yeah.
It's definitely kind of weird.
A good feeling inside.
Now, I mean, so I keep trying to remember that, like, you graduated college how long ago? Like 2 years? 3 years?
Nah, shit. Was it last year? 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
I actually had 2 extra years.
2 extra years of school?
The last year I literally had like 1 class.
That's all right, though.
But
So, what are you doing, like, during this time? Like, besides for you skateboarding and besides for you trying to, like, kind of create some shit, like, what are you doing for work?
work, I was working at, well, do you want me to say first job I ever had? Start there?
Yeah.
First job was at Eden Park. I was 15, dishwashing and bussing tables. Just
Did it suck?
Shit job,
Yeah.
Just like smoke a joint at the trash dump and then come back in and get through the day. But that was
Get
terrible.
through the day.
I remember, yeah. And then my friend who was working there with me got a job at this nursing home. He said it was pretty chill, like being a server there.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it paid way more, like minimum wage at Eden Park, and it was like $8 over there. And it was like, that's
Yeah, you're balling.
way better.
Yeah.
So it's like go over there, and then I was there for a long ass time at the nursing home, the one right across from Lowe's in Bethel, if you know what that
Yeah,
is.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so I was there for a long time, and then I think till I was about 22, maybe
like you were there for like 6 years?
at least 5.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Because I was serving, and then they had like full-time dishwasher, and then he got out, and then I took the dishwashing spot because I'm not the biggest fan of socializing with people. So I was like,
Only
I'll be back here. Like, this is way better.
That makes sense.
And then I was like, we got like new management, and they were like saying I can't listen to my music, I can't even wear a hat in there, and I was like, every day there's some new rule. I'm like,
Peace.
I do the best job here. Like, no, like, not to talk about myself, but like, I do the best job there. I do everything right. All the
Yeah.
old people loved it, and they're trying
All
to
the
tell me
old
things
people
I
loved
can't
it?
do.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well,
If you're washing
I'm outta
dishes and they're telling you can't listen to something while you're
Yeah.
washing dishes, I'd be like, come on, bro. Like,
Exactly.
You're taking it way too serious.
Like
you
the
can't
ma-
wear a hat?
the dude who was like in charge of the whole thing, not in charge of the whole thing, but the manager of the place over there, I swear he had it out for me.
Dude.
And he came into Zeds actually a couple times. I saw him trying to sell shoes, and I was like, but he probably doesn't remember me, you know.
Trying to sell shoes.
It's my
It's like,
turn now.
Yo, I got him now. Let him come through. It's my turn now. So, like, where does Zeds come into play? Like, how do you even know them dudes?
We actually did this event. I think RB was throwing them. There were these little like events where you could like set up your tables, like just brands and like vintage places. Like Zed was there, we were there, and then Jake actually. I had to leave for a wedding, and then Jake was like, "Fuck, you're gonna leave me here by myself." And then he ended up meeting Zed, and they hit it off. And then he ended up going to his house, getting a haircut. And then I was like, that was at a point where with sports we did these little interviews.
Yeah.
And like it was like a series of like 8, and like it was like video. And I was like, "You want to do one?" And he was like, "Yeah." And so we went over, did it, and then after that we just hang out a little bit. And then the one day we were at I don't know what concert it was, some concert at Spirit.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yo, I think I'm actually gonna open up a shop," and I was like, "If you need anyone, like, let me know. Like, I'll do anything." Because I was working at Home Depot at this point.
Yeah.
And I was like, I fucking hate it, hate every day. I was like, like, if you need me, like, whatever, you can pay me whatever. And I was like, and then like 6 months into the shop, he was like, "All right, I need people." So then he hit me up, and I was in there, been there since.
Wow. That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
Did
definitely.
you have like were you into the vintage stuff beforehand?
Oh yeah.
So you were like a
Yeah.
picker and stuff like that?
Yeah, like probably senior year, my girlfriend now, Sarah, we would like stop at Goodwill's, and
What grade what year did you graduate?
2013.
Crazy to me.
So we would stop at Goodwill's, and I wouldn't think anything of it. I would just go in there, she'd go in there, and be like, we'd pick out just cool things.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point where it's like, all right.
Whenever you say cool things, you mean things that are not. You're not looking at monetary value.
I'm not looking for like band T-shirts like just to sell them. Like I'm just going in there and like this is cool.
Something that you want.
Yeah. And like I remember one day we went in there and I was real into snowboarding at this time, and I went like this one snowboarder Joe Sexton was wearing this orange jacket, and I was like, I need an orange jacket. And we went in and they had this orange coach's jacket, and I was like, that's it. And I got it, went out filming with it. I was loving it. But that started it. And then you meet people like, and then you I realized like you can make money off this shit. But at first you have to learn from mistakes. Like pick out a Tommy polo with just a little emblem on it, and you're like, it's Tommy.
Yeah.
But then it's like that's not worth anything.
You're not worth nothing.
So then over time you're like, you donate shit back, and you're like, this shit it's got to go back. Like you can't even sell it.
That's interesting. It's interesting to like hear how because vintage. I mean, like I was the same way. Like in high school, whenever I was in 9th grade, I was friends with a bunch of seniors, and like everyone was wearing like old Salvation Army hats. Yeah. Like we would wear suit jackets. I wore suit jackets to high school. I had attaché cases. I had the illest winter.
You would get
jacket.
them from like thrift stores
All day. I had the illest jacket I've ever had in my life. It was a London Fog fur coat, long trench coat. And I remember I came home and my mom was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "This is fire." I was like, "You need to take me to the laundromat right now. I need to get this dry cleaned."
Did you?
Oh yeah, I remember I paid $12 for the coat, and I think it was $26 to get dry cleaned. I wore it for 4 years, and it was a dope ass coat. But I never
need to see a picture of that one day.
I bet you I got some. I bet you I got it. I might have the coat at my parents' still, but I never crossed that path of being like buying shit for just myself to like that money end of it all.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's interesting to think about like being a young kid. I'm not saying that like you're a young kid, but like 5 years of a difference. It's a whole lifetime.
Yeah,
it's like you weren't even in high school whenever I was. So it's like it's weird to think about how coming up and being like 15, 16, 17 and getting in that frame of mindset of wanting to like learn how to make money yourself and not wanting to be in a fucking office and like seeing that possibility with vintage. I think that's like one of the most interesting things about like whenever I was interviewing Zed and shit like that is like to think about that end of it all and like know that it was happening at that time and then jump in on it.
It's crazy to think back to like back then you find like a Tommy flag t-shirt.
Yeah.
And you could sell it for like $50 like that. Now it's like maybe you get 30.
Kind of saturated
like, it's
now.
very saturated now. Like certain things back then like for that used to sell like guest tees before they reprinted everything.
Yeah.
You could sell them for like $80.
Shit.
And then they redid it. They sold it at Urban Outfitters and now it's like $40.
So were you like real in the beginning of round 2, like knowing what round 2 was, like on YouTube?
No.
See, I didn't know what it was either until like probably like 6 months into them, like I think maybe starting, and then I just saw this like online YouTube channel of them doing this stuff, and it was like back whenever it was like real raw and like not done well, and it was like their Virginia location, and it's like holy shit, like these dudes are young and they're fucking killing it, and now Sean Witherspoon is like a fucking making Nike shoes, do whatever he wants in the world, and it's like I feel like that people like my mom and stuff like that, whenever she listened to the episode of Zed, she listens to all these. It's weird to think about like parents like noticing that that's like a thing and like kids are like paying bills off of just these old ass clothes.
It's crazy. Even like beyond the vintage, like working at Zed's, like you have an 8-year-old kid coming with his dad who clearly just bought him those shoes and like trying to like haggle for a deal for him and like try to just flip the shoes. Like all these kids now just buy Supreme, buy the latest Nikes, Yeezys, flip them. Like they're learning young.
Yeah.
Because when I the first thing I got into was Nike SBs and Jordans.
Like how young were you? Because I did not wear Nikes until I think high school.
Probably like 8th grade.
Yeah. See, like you were probably on to way before, but it's like I don't remember.
I think it was like around 2008, 2009.
I think it's also because I'm pretty sure that Cheapskates didn't have SBs.
No, OneUp did.
Yeah, OneUp had the SBs. So like that's why we were never on them. Like I always wore like S. I wore Vans a lot. I loved S shoes.
Actually, was just listening to the one podcast the other day. You mentioned you had the S crooked shoes.
Oh yeah,
I had those.
Those were my favorite. I was just gonna say those were my favorite shoes. I think of all time. It was so cool to like see like the different trends of all the skateboarding stuff.
Yeah.
How it went from like the neon colors, and then it was like the Argyles and everything, and like the America and
Even just,
Altamont
the
teams.
bulky shoe to the
Yeah.
slimmer shoe nowadays. Like,
Fuck yeah.
I don't know how people are still trying to skate DC Links to this day.
Dude, and they have like them crazy like the Gucci colorways and stuff.
Yeah.
And like they look dope. Like they have that nostalgic
They look like a
feel.
cool shoe, but skating them, it's
Never. Did you ever, when's the last time you put your foot in a pair of D3s?
I don't think I've ever done it in my life. I remember as a kid, I always wanted them, but I was never able to get them.
Same thing. They were always so expensive. They were like $120 retail. And I remember my cap was like, I think $80 back whenever I was younger. But it's like, I never had a pair. And then I bought a pair when they reissued them. And I put my foot in them.
You
and
still
I'm like,
have them?
Oh, I got 2 pair. I'll break them out for you. I got them hundreds collab too. But it's like, I put my foot in them. And it's like, you know, people were skateboarding with these fucking
And they were shredding.
boxes. Yeah, doing like ill shit, crazy ill shit.
Like, I even did it back then. I remember the bulkiest pair of shoes I had were these Chet Thomas Globes.
Oh, Chet Thomas 4, my favorite pair of shoes.
That it came out, and the one pair had the.
They had the
was like-
continuous tongue around it.
It was like a black shoe with that color.
Oh yeah,
And I was like, that color just steals me away every time.
bro. I know all about the Chet Thomas 4. They had a gray, red, and black pair.
Yeah.
I took a picture on my story and tagged Chet Thomas
I saw
because
it.
in my wrestling photo I have them Chet Thomases on. I was like, I'm probably the only person ever in life to take a picture with a Chet Thomases in a wrestling photo. But them shoes, it's wild to think about that. And now it's like all the low profiles, like the fucking Vans, like Authentics, like and the Janoskis and everything like that. It's just such a cool like idea even in fashion in general, not even just skateboarding. What's the youngest like you're saying there's like 8-year-old kids that are coming into the shop that are
Maybe like 10, but
but
they're
like,
young, yeah.
like doing like they know what's going on.
They know what's going on.
That's wild to me. 8 years old.
I mean, yeah, these kids
10 years
nowadays, I
old.
feel like you're born with a phone attached to your hip. Like,
That's a good point, I guess. How old were you when you got a cell phone?
maybe
I think I was
15,
17.
16.
I think I was 17 or 18.
But also, yeah, like when you were younger than that, they like, even when I got one, I feel like not many people, or I guess people were starting to get them.
Yeah.
Because I remember having my friends had them like way before me, and then I was like, finally convinced my parents to get me one.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I need one in case I get fucking kidnapped or something.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Now, I mean, you come up with this Good Sports name randomly. You said you do all your creativity in
Actually, I wanted
Yes.
it to just be sports, but
Sports.
legally, that's like already taken, and you couldn't do it. So then, had to figure something out, and I was like, Good Sports.
Why is it Good Sports? Like, why did you want it to be just called sports?
I wanted it to be just called sports because, I don't know, just how cliche it is, and it just, everything in Pittsburgh is a big sports city. Everything just revolves around sports in a sense, too. A lot of things, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think it was funny to tie that in with the skating, too.
Yeah.
But the Good Sports was just like trying to think of another word to go with it, and then just being like, I don't know. I feel like I'm a very good dude. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
just good people. Like, there's no need for anything else, you know?
Yeah.
That's all you need.
I like that.
Like,
I
I'm the
was
easiest person to work with, easiest person to talk to.
Yeah.
I don't judge anything. I don't. Like, you can say anything in front of me, and, like, I don't care what you say, you know? Or, like, do anything. Like, don't feel awkward. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I think that I remember seeing the one logo you had. I think it had the tennis racket and like the soccer ball on it. Didn't you do like a logo with like the different sports balls on there?
Was it a cup?
Maybe it was a cup. I don't fucking know. I swear I remember it. How do you not remember this?
I think you're thinking of. I found a mug at the thrift store once. It said sports on it and had like all sports on it. Is that what you're thinking of?
I don't know. I thought you did. It might have been something that I feel like I subconsciously see it on the stories, and then I just think it's yours. But I look in this. What did you call this again?
Lookbook magazine.
Yeah, Lookbook magazine. I look in this Lookbook magazine, and you have like a fucking someone wearing a shirt with a tennis racket and some golf clubs.
Yeah,
and it's like on the front, someone's doing a fucking board slide on there. It's like I like that like irony to it. I think that's like it's edgy. It's catchy.
Like Lavelle holding those golf clubs. He's not a golfer, but
yeah, I like that.
Looks good, though.
It looks cool. Yeah, it looks cool. I like that. Now it's like you come up with this idea, and like what was your approach? Did you already have designs before you came up with this name?
Just the logo, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like the first thing we ever made was a hat. Like when Dad passed, before they were fully popping and then they fell off. Like got on that real quick and started selling a bunch of dad hats. Just got the logo embroidered on it.
Yeah.
Was just selling them.
Now, did you have like an idea of like kind of what? Now, where does Jake come into play with all this? It's like, is he actively involved with all this?
Oh yeah.
Like while this is all going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like from the start. Yeah. Like we FaceTime all the time, talk about everything, make sure everything sounds good.
Did he skate?
Nah. I mean, he dabbled a little, but like he was never a skater. Nah.
Okay.
He was more like into sports.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good balance.
Yeah.
He's more into sports. So, I mean, like, if you're doing this hat first, like, what's like the approach to all this? Like, do you have like an idea of an approach? Like, what was like the kind of a build up? Like, I know you had to go find someone to do embroidery on a hat.
Yeah.
You know
Same
what I mean?
person
Like,
that does it to this day.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did you have did you have an idea of like what you wanted to get made, how you wanted to sell it, like if you were going to do a website, shit like that?
At first, no, because like at first, I don't know. I was like very, like I was at college, but I was also very much around all my hometown friends, and like it was just like starting this thing, and everyone starting to wear these hats, and I was like, just put it out there, like I got these hats, and then I don't know. I wouldn't say in high school, like I definitely was friends with majority of everybody.
Yeah.
But like I wasn't like close to anybody, but I was always around everybody. Like
You were just alright with everyone.
The cool parties, whatever. But like I just got off school and went skating with my like friends not from Bethel, you know?
Yeah.
And so I like make friends, like I have friends from all different places, I guess. And that just helps out too.
Yeah, low places. Good
But
friends.
no,
in low
there's never a
places.
plan. To this day. Like anything I do is
Random?
so last minute.
That's good.
Like I'll have like we'll finish something and then I'll have stuff ready, but even this with like the whole quarantine thing, we had all the clothes printed, everything done, and I was like, all right, all you have to do is take the photos, blah blah blah. Didn't even take the photos until a couple weeks ago. Just got those magazines in the mail today. Just got the sticker packs the day before, but
I feel like that there's a beauty with the spontaneity. I feel like that. I feel like planning too far ahead kind of takes away some of the.
it builds stress too.
Builds stress, but it takes away some of the shine. You know, like I know people who have rap like songs that they recorded that they've never put out that are their best work, and they're just like, I'm just like, what happened to that song you showed me a year and a half ago that was literally it slapped slapped out of the speakers, and like, I don't know. And I'm just like, geez, like that's that right there. I feel like over time, if you just sitting on things, it loses its like power.
It's debatable.
Yeah.
Like I know, for instance, I don't know, a couple local artists. They have like a lot of really good music, but they don't want to put it out until they can reach the audience they want it to reach. Because I feel like if you just put it out and say just Pittsburgh hears it and then some other places hear it, then it's old music to an extent, you know?
I can agree with that for sure. But I think that there's a fine line between someone who is smart enough to understand that and a person who just like has music that doesn't recognize the talent in that song, maybe.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. It's definitely debatable. That's a good point, though. It's like you can't have you got to build a net before you throw all this shit out into it.
Yeah, but also whenever, as an artist of any form, I feel like when you work on something for so long, like it gets old to you personally.
That's what I mean.
But like when someone sees it for the first time, like say that magazine, like I've studied that thing for the past 3 weeks straight.
Yeah.
And now it's like there. But like I show that to someone and then they've never seen it and they might be hyped on it.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool about it.
Yeah, the impact of this is like crazy. Like I did not expect this to look like I got the hell's his name? Dirty Bird.
Yeah.
He does a lot of my designs and shit like that, and he does like all these books and shit like that, and all his stuff is so like detailed and crazy. He'll be like, yeah, I've been working on that for a minute, but it's like, it's weird to think it's just like I'm the first time I'm seeing it, so it's just like every time someone new sees it, you see like a genuine like reaction of what that is. But it's cool to think about, like you have probably been obsessed about this like a psychopath.
Yeah.
Just like looking at every single thing about this, and like you're probably nitpicking things, you know, what it was like before, what it's like now. And I think that that's like super interesting to see from other people's point of view, because like I can't, like, I'm nitpicky about like sound and things like that, but it's like if I put out shirts and stuff like that, I get nitpicky, but I don't do it as much as a brand. Like you guys are super, you guys are like super focused on like the detail and everything. Like where does that come from? Like obviously you're a picker and like you like the vintage stuff, but you always seem to have like a really, really great product.
Yeah,
it's like, where does that come to be aware of that? Most people, what I'm saying is most people will try to make the most money out of what they can.
Yeah.
But it's like you guys obviously are trying to make some money, but it's like you guys are sewing in your own tags.
Yeah.
You're bagging everything very nice. You got your own packaging. And like that is an extra step that's going to, I mean, in the end, cost you more money.
I see it, in many ways. Like as of now, like in the past few years, like everyone and their mother wants to make their own clothes, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you can get a t-shirt printed at Gildan with a graphic on it. I mean, Travis Scott did it. He sold his. They resell. It's whatever.
Muppets.
But that doesn't, if it's just you doing that and you don't have anything to build that up, I feel like it's just another t-shirt. Unless there's something, like the design is meaningful and to an extent. But I don't know. I just lost track what I was going to say after that.
You were just talking about different shirts and everything like that, about how people sometimes
But
use
yeah,
Gildan.
like having the tags was like a must. Like you have to have, like, to make it official.
Yeah.
And like on our sweatshirts, we have the little side tag.
Yeah.
I think that just adds to it. Like it's more than just a sweatshirt. It's more than just, and like I screen print everything. He sews in the tags. It might be a little flawed, but it's like, that's human nature, you know?
Yeah, I like that though. That's like a fucking...
And yeah, we package everything, put it all in the plastic bags. We don't just like have some, like I know other people have companies, like they just get their t-shirt printed and
Drop
they get
shipping.
like screen printed in the shirt and not the sewn in tags, and they have it in a plastic bag already whenever they get it given to them. And I like doing all that.
Yeah.
I like shipping it out. I like put it in the bag. I like writing a little note to everybody. Like I appreciate everyone who buys it.
Yeah.
And likes it. Like I don't want you to buy it just to buy it. Like,
100%.
If you like it, that's what I
love putting
want.
a thank you note in there.
Yeah,
you got to.
You gotta.
That's if I get something, if I buy something from someone and they write a handwritten note in there, there's probably 9 times out of 10 I'm going to go back to them.
Yeah.
Just because it's like that extra little bit.
That's all you need to do. It doesn't even take much.
Yeah, and like all them little extra things, it's like Al Pacino's speech on Any Given Sunday. That's the only version of sports I like, is movies, like sports movies. But it's like all them little extra inches, they add up into be like a fucking huge mile at the end of like all the extra things. Where does the idea of you screen printing coming into play? Just you wanted to be involved doing everything.
Well, in high school, in that graphic design class, we actually got the screen printer on shirt. And I was like, this is sick, you know?
Yeah, that's dope.
And then in college, my girlfriend, she took a class with screen printing, and we actually printed a whole run of shirts in that classroom, one of the graphics back then. But then I was like, I know what I'm doing. It'd be way cheaper. And Jake found it on Craigslist. He's like, I was like, if you can find something for cheap, like, why not? And we found this dude. He had a whole setup. He's like, he wanted like, I don't know how much, like maybe $550 or $600. I think I gave him like $500 for the dryer, the four color press. Technically wow. 3 color. The 4th one's broken, but it does have 4.
That's all right.
But yeah, and then
You just do this in your garage?
Yeah, actually. Shout out to my parents because they allow me to keep that thing in the garage.
That's dope.
I'm in an apartment and I don't have anywhere else to go. But
yeah, you got no other room for that.
It's the funniest situation when I have to make screens. I literally go into a bathroom with the lights off, and then you have to use like this little yellow light, and then put this emulsion on in the shower, and then you let it dry, and then you have to go through the whole process, but it's all in this little 4x4 shower room, bathroom, and then you have to spray it down, and then take it out in the garage and just print them out.
That's dope.
But it's a funny process.
I never got that deep into it. I've always got deep into the detail of the process of how it's done.
Yeah.
But not like that. It's like I know like if it's a sublimation print,
yeah,
and like what that is, and like regular screen printing and stuff like that. But that's pretty cool that like you get that. You could tell that you're like obsessive about it.
Yeah.
Like you got to be to give a good product. Now you said he sews. Do you sew at all?
Hell no.
Nah.
I couldn't do that.
I enjoy sewing.
You do?
I used to sew in high school. It's weird because like the things that I feel like in high school, I only ever made surface decisions of anything. Like whenever I got to pick electives, I picked like fucking AutoCAD and art. I was never good at art. I love taking photos and screen printing. We both had. There was photography and screen printing classes. Never took them in my life. No. Never took a fucking shop class. I was just an idiot that would take an art class, and my art teacher fucking hated me. So every year I would subject myself to this. And but yeah, I don't know why I never did. It's interesting about it though to think.
I mean, yeah, it's not something I would want to do forever, but it's definitely. I feel like it adds to it a lot more doing it yourself.
Fuck yeah.
But
gotta enjoy it.
If it gets bigger than what it is, then I couldn't keep up.
Now, are you for you guys getting in depth with like, sewing in the tags and things like that, do you feel like a sort of pressure with exceeding the quality of each piece?
Like making sure everyone's perfect?
No, not making sure everyone's perfect, but making sure every new piece is like do you set the bar? How do I want to say it? It's like if you make one great piece of clothing with a bunch of different like nice details, like do you feel like a pressure to like keep adding to it and adding to it?
I don't think about it.
No?
Nah.
That's good.
It's funny, yeah. I don't know. Like looking back, like if I just scroll to the Instagram or look back at all the clothes I have, like I think to me I can tell like I see the progression. I think other people think that too, and that's one thing. But no, I don't think about it. We just come up with a little category idea, build off that, and then get the graphics made or whatever piece it's going to be and put it out. But a lot of things are very last minute.
Those are the best ideas.
Yeah.
Do you and Jake ever have any creative differences?
Not really.
Really?
Like he'll throw out like some ideas, and I might be like, nah, and then I might say something, and he'd be like, nah, but then usually it's always good.
That's cool. I feel like it could either go both ways for being family and business partners.
Yeah, being family and a business partner. Never really had problems.
That's good. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
He's gonna fucking text you like, we got a problem. But so, I mean, like, as far as like you being spontaneous, you have to have some sort of like,
I mean, there's definitely points where I'm beating myself to death.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go like...
beating myself to
like,
death.
there's periods of time, like, it could go on for like almost 2 weeks, and I'm like, I can't think of anything. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the worst. Like, it doesn't always happen, but it happens. And like, I'll be like doing research, like I want to do something like add this to it, like whatever it is, just looking at old things, going to places.
Yeah.
And then trying to think, like I'll sit down, like smoke a joint, whatever, sit down, try to think about what I want to do, and then I'm like, it's just not working. And then I might take a break, skate a few days, and then obviously I'm at work, whatever. And then one day it's just like,
yeah, and it just snaps
hits.
in.
And then it's like I just made 10 graphics in one sitting.
I definitely tried to think of a podcast name for years, probably 2 years. One day it just like kind of like fell into place, and it kind of just went from there.
I think it's perfect.
I appreciate that. But it's like you said, it's like I like have a list in my in my notebook of just like names, stupid names, just like all different ones that I thought I would love, but it's like once it just kind of.
How long did you like think about that for? You think?
I did a podcast in 2013, so a long time ago. We did it for 10 episodes, me and my buddy, and we interviewed it was like before podcasts were a thing. Like we interviewed Bert Kreischer. You know who that is?
Who?
Bert Kreischer. He's friends with like Joe Rogan.
Nah.
He's like some big fucking famous comedian. We just messaged.
How'd you get him?
We just messaged him. It was before podcasts. It was before everyone had a podcast.
Yeah.
There was literally only one other podcast in Pittsburgh, and it was like some like education, like maybe an insurance one. But do you know that Work Hard Pittsburgh? They're like up in Allentown. His name's Buzzy Turk. They do like drinking partners, stuff like that. But we were his first podcast, and we were just down in there. There was video of it. We got to interview like Lee Trabosic. You know who that is? He's a magician in the city. He's like, he's a dope magician. I'm telling you, whenever you think of magician, you think of like Michael Scott. Like this dude,
Scott, yeah.
Yeah, like this dude is. He did that Houdini trick a couple years ago, hanging off the news building in the city. This dude was in a straitjacket, upside down on a crane.
When was this?
A couple years ago. And it was like 100 years to the date of Houdini doing this. I'm telling you, dude, I'll put you onto some wild shit after. He does these like dope ass events at Liberty Magic, where it's like a personal event where he does like all these card tricks and everything. He's legit. Yeah. But back then when we did these, like no one was listening. We had like 10 listens. You know, it was just, and it fell apart. It was easy to fall apart because we didn't have that net for people to catch everything with. And it's like, after that, I knew I was a podcast fan for, years, since Rogan was in the basement. And now it's like such a huge thing now. And I always wanted to do another one, but I didn't want to come up with a name. I didn't want to do it until I had a brand. Yeah. Because like, I'm very, very like, I just like think I spiderweb way too much. Like I'm not going to do anything until I have a brand that I could put things under, even if I don't even have a product yet. It's just like I need a brand to be able to put things under, to be able to build towards, to be able to create from. Exactly. And it took me years to be able to figure out things. It's like that Lost Boys shit. I was walking down the hill in Southside, and the Lost Boys like popped into my head because I was like into like Peter Pan and shit like that, and like the vampire movie, The Lost Boys. Yeah. And I just knew at that moment that's what I wanted it to be. But and then I later found out, after I got my LLC, after I got everything, there was this brand in Canada.
Wait, you got that for the Lost Boys, the LLC?
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, I was into it. I went way too hard, way too quick, way too fast. And then I found a brand that was called Lost Boys. Mine was LOSTBOYZ. This brand was BOYS, but it was way bigger. We looked on their Instagram. Yeah. They had fucking 24,000 followers. Bam Margera was wearing their shit. Every bit of wind out of my sails. I had grips of shirts. I still got grips of shirts. And I just stopped it completely because, like, I didn't ever want anyone to think that I was, like, biting off of anything. Yeah. And I was just like, I'm never going to do anything else again until I could find something completely organic that no one else has. I'll call you right back. Looked at it in a podcast apps. Nothing popped up.
Yeah, you pop up immediately.
Run it. Run it. But it's interesting to like, I don't know. I feel like I get like pressure. Like I get stressed out, like trying to always like feel that I have to put out a product. For you to be like a clothing brand, you're obviously not putting out stuff like every single week. So it's like, do you feel pressure to put something out like once a quarter, once every like month? Like, how do you feel about that?
Definitely think we're at a point where we should start putting stuff out more often. Yeah. But as of recently, like when we first started, it was like try to follow the order of fall, winter, spring, summer, like the typical normal thing. But then it was like, we don't need to do that. Like we can do whatever we want, you know? Yeah. So then it was basically like, and then we tried like a couple things of like just dropping a t-shirt and then like doing like a little video with it or whatever and like some advertising. And now it's just like this, it's like, we're just putting it out. No season, ideas, no nothing. Yeah. But
why would you want to put it out during a season whenever everyone else is putting out everything else? Yeah. It's like, fuck it, put it out whenever.
And it's like, I don't know if you know who Joe Fresh Goods is.
Fresh Goods.
Joe Fresh Goods.
No.
He's from Chicago, but I've been following him for a long time. And that's like, I listened to an interview with him, and he was basically like, there's no need for anything. Like, I can do whatever I want. People are still going to buy my shit. And it's like, I've always had that mindset, like, you know, like, what does it really matter?
Yeah.
If you have a fall, winter on it. Like,
break the system.
that
Fuck
seems
it.
too to the books.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I see a perfect example is like I put them mugs out, all right?
Yeah.
I
love how big they are.
Oh, they had to be. It took me a long time to find them.
Don't even have to do 2 cups now.
15-ounce boys. I appreciate that, but it took me a minute to find them, and then whenever I got them, I had them for a little bit, and I was like, man, maybe I should wait till fall to put these out, or whenever I can make another coffee run. No one wants to drink coffee. It's 100 degrees out. And I was like, fuck that. I was like, I drink coffee every day.
Exactly.
Hot as fuck. Every day.
You like it hot every day?
Yeah. Not every day. I usually will pick an iced coffee. If it's real early in the morning, I'll have a hot ass coffee. But any time after 8:30, it's iced coffee.
In the morning, 8:30 in the morning?
Yeah. I wake up super early.
Yeah, I've been on that kick too.
Like how early?
Lately, it's been like anywhere from 6 to 8.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess that might not be too early.
I love an early morning.
I've been loving it. I
Yeah,
used to be like late night, sleep till 11.
Yeah.
Now I'm still. Used to be like real late night, like 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I like to work at that time.
Now it's like 12,
But
1.
now, yeah, living with the lady.
Yeah.
You got to come to bed with me. So it's like.
Yeah, that's exactly
Now
it.
it's like I'm going to bed around 12:01, and
know.
I'm waking up earlier, which I like it though.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You drink coffee every day?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I have
it's-
to have at least 2 cups.
I love a coffee. I mean,
But I've been on the kick of just being always busy and on the run, and it's just so easy. We go to Giant Eagle, and I just get 2 of the Starbucks unsweetened blonde roast, the cold stuff. I just pour it in.
blonde roast.
Yeah.
Cold? What is it coming to? Is it the ones that look like Mickey hand grenades?
No. Those ones are like the little ones. These are like a whole jug you can get, and it'll last like a couple days.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
know
just
what you're
cold
talking
coffee.
about. I know what you're talking
It's just so
about.
easy.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
But I do
don't-
like whenever I get your coffee, like I make that, and like
Thanks.
I love it.
Appreciate that.
But I don't like, typically go to the store and buy a bag of coffee and make it. Too much work.
Yeah, it's definitely too much work. That's whenever you get a little bit deeper into the love of the coffee. You
Yeah.
can get a fucking French press. You can get as weird as you want with it.
I just, to me, like, I'm with people all the time, like, this coffee's good. This coffee's the best. It's like, to me, a cup of black coffee is all I need. I don't care what's in it. I basically drink it to get going.
But can you tell like a difference of the flavors?
Oh, I can tell a difference, but I'm not picky
Oh, okay.
at all.
That's good then. So like as far as what you guys got going on, them shorts that you gave me,
Yeah.
champion, no
Yeah.
big deal. Embroidered, very nice, with pockets.
Yes, sir.
I would have called you a fool on here, on air, if you didn't have pockets in those shorts.
The funny thing is, we were talking about the other day, I was running around Zeds, and I had like a phone, wallet, keys in my pockets, and like the shorts are like down to my knees.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just can't really have anything in your pockets, but it's nice to have pockets.
It's enough for just one phone.
Yeah, one phone, one thing.
Yeah, one phone.
But having
one
everything
thing.
in there, and you have
Yeah.
to go to if I'm going to the grocery store and I'm wearing those shorts and I have the phone, wallet, keys, I have one hand on the pants at all times.
Yeah, you can't do that for sure. So when do those come out? Friday. Tomorrow.
Friday.
Okay, so now this is like the drop. So you're dropping the Lookbook magazine. You're dropping the shorts, and you have crew necks. You have t-shirts, long sleeves,
And the sticker packs.
and the sticker packs.
Yeah.
And like, how long from the beginning of these just as ideas until now? How long has it been?
Well, it's been a while, but mainly because of quarantine and
Yeah.
everything that happened. And like, I didn't want to have to do online stuff because it's so
Yeah.
much better in person.
Yeah.
But realistically, I had everything done before quarantine even happened.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
No. First week of quarantine, my bad. I printed everything. It was all done after the first week. And then, what was I going to say? And then quarantine happened, and then it was like, now there's no rush to do anything. We can take our time.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point of like, all right, now we have to rush it. And then I ended up sold like all the large T-shirts and all like the shorts to just close friends. And I was like, because it's like one person's like, can I get a pair? Can I get this? Can I get that? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I've had it for a while. Like I see you every day. And then I got to a point where I was like, I have to reprint everything, which I just printed a graphic this morning and 2 more to go to make sure there's enough.
That's good though. You're always grinding with it.
But yeah, I don't know how long it took from start to finish. I can't even.
And it's all different. Like as far as like drops, like all things take different amount of time.
Yeah, like these, like I can say all the graphics. I usually draw on paper first because it's just way easier to draw it than to like sit at a computer where you just have these tools.
And you're
I
sketching
kind of see
on
them
there.
more as like tools where it's like if you have a drawing, those are just tools to make that drawing come to life.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't just go in there and draw, you know. Like,
What do you design a lot of your shit in?
Where?
What do you design it in? Like what program?
Depending, you mostly Illustrator.
Yeah.
And then Photoshop, depending, but Illustrator is best for graphics.
They vector it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just clean, crisp edges.
I'm hip. I'm hip to it. Man, so what's like next for you guys? I mean, just keep churning shit out?
Yeah, so we just did our first collaboration
With Zeds?
with Zeds, which made so much sense, so it just had to happen.
2 years?
2 years
No
of
big
Zeds.
deal.
And then our first collaboration. And yeah, a lot of people are always like, you know, you get in DMs like, we can do collaboration. Like, I don't even feel like we're at a point to do that, you know?
Yeah.
But I think this one just made so much sense.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are in there.
I'm in there every day.
Yeah, you
And,
know, like that's part of your, like that's your life.
Yeah,
You know,
pretty
just
much.
as long as with that. And I'm sure that place just, like, that brews inspiration for you. I mean, you're seeing
Everything.
dope shit all day, every day. You're seeing... Is that my phone?
Yeah.
Amateur move. Look at that. Fucking run a podcast. Amateur.
Is that
Let me answer this. Who knows what this is?
Oh, good.
Hello? Hello, who is this? Democratic Party.
I don't. Is that just a random number?
God, fuckers.
I don't even
I
answer.
hate them. I hate them. Yeah, but, you know, I'm looking for that house
Oh,
shit
yeah,
now.
true.
So it's like, one time, I got a random... Okay, so everyone was getting robot calls, all right?
Yeah.
I was at my job, and I got a random number, and I was like, I ain't answering this. 100% it's a robocall. Swear to God, something was like, answer it. I answered it. It was the people from the Penguins. All right. I entered some random giveaway on Twitter that you would never think would win. And one of them sponsored ads, like, enter here. I was like, fuck it. Entered it. I won
How long was the time in between?
like 7 days. So it was just enough for me to forget all about it.
Yeah.
I would have never even thought that would have been the Penguins. And they were like, hi, this is with whatever, HR or PR with the Penguins. You won our Twitter giveaway. Do you remember entering that? And I was like, yeah. And they gave me a fucking weekend pass to Seven Springs, hotel room, all these passes, Penguins tickets, and a signed Marc-Andre Fleury jersey. And I asked the people, I was like, I almost didn't answer you. And they were like, yeah, a lot of people don't. We call the next number.
Yeah.
And they were like, I was like, I thought this was fake. And they were like, a lot of people do. That's like, no one really enters them because they think they're fake. And she was like, tell your friends to enter them. Like, these are real.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I try to answer some random numbers I'll answer.
Cool story about the Penguins. My cousin actually works for them, and you can see it on TV sometimes when the opposing team's going out right above when they walk
Kroll.
out. Yeah, Danny Kroll.
Yeah, I messaged him about talking to him. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could
Yeah.
get you in.
Yeah, get me in with him.
Yeah.
But go with your story.
Oh no, he slapped a sticker up on the where the opposing team walks out onto the ice. So whenever they show them walking out on the ice during the games, you can see it right under the door.
A good sports.
Yeah.
No big deal. That's dope.
So yeah.
I think Crump put me on to him actually.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, dude, my cousin's pretty sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
He's been with them for a long time.
Yeah, they said he was a bat boy beforehand.
Yep.
That's crazy.
He's worked his way up.
I'm not a big sports guy, but I would love to talk to him about it. It's like he'll be like, "You watch baseball?" I haven't watched a baseball game in my entire life, I don't think. But so I mean, like, do you have plans as far as like other drops, or is it just whenever it comes to you?
Yeah, I feel like
Do you guys keep shit tucked?
like graphic wise,
Like shirts, like do you have do you have stuff that you've worked on that are shirts and stuff that you just got in the back burner?
no.
No?
I mean, there's like ideas.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Ideas.
Yeah. The ideas, definitely. Like, there's plenty of things that are like, I'll make something while I'm trying to work on another thing, and then it's like, we could use this later on at some point, and I'll just throw it in a file, and like I can look back at that stuff like and think about what the new collection. I usually like to have like a category. Like, this was obviously old skateboarding stuff.
Yeah.
And if it fits the category, I'll throw it in, or I'll just come up with new stuff, because usually I like that stuff better right on the spot.
Yeah. That's good.
But, yeah, definitely don't want to say anything coming up soon, because that would just stress me out.
Well, there's stuff coming up soon. There's something dropping tomorrow.
Yeah, I just worry about Friday.
Magazine lookbook and all kinds of good shit. What's like the? I mean, do you have like an approach as far as like, you know, the limited run? Like, I'm only going to print like fucking 12 of these.
That's the biggest struggle.
Yeah.
Figuring out what to make.
Yeah.
That's one thing I got to get on Jake's ass about, is making spreadsheets. We're slacking in that department. Like, seeing like everything that sold the last time and then knowing. But we basically have a good judgment. Like, large is definitely the number one size.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when we first started, it was medium. Like, everyone was wearing medium. And then a year later, we had like made like another batch of whatever. And we made a bunch of mediums, and like we had a bunch of mediums left, nothing else. And I was like, no one's wearing mediums.
Case in point, no one's wearing mediums.
The baggy clothes have took over.
They have been taken over. All right, well, you ready to get to the fun part? You've been preparing?
I actually did listen to a few people's this morning to prepare.
All right.
Because I knew, like, if I get here, like, my head would just go blank.
It's going to go blank.
But it probably still will.
The ending segment that I do with everyone on the podcast is a segment called Desert Island Questions. Desert Island Questions is whenever I give each guest 3 categories to take with them to exhaust until expulsion on a desert island, like Tom Hanks in Castaway, except you would die instead of being rescued. First category, 3 things to watch.
3 things to watch. This can be what, any TV show or movie?
Any TV show or movie.
All right, number 1 on the list is Seinfeld.
Really?
The biggest Seinfeld fan.
I have not watched it yet.
Never.
I mean, I've watched an episode. I watched an episode or two, but I think it's. Did you watch it whenever you were younger?
Not too young, but like definitely
like 15
at least. Yeah. Before that, probably too. Yeah.
See, like sure. I never watched it whenever I was super
not
young.
Like young. But
so it's dated.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I bet you I could get into it.
And
if
like
I sat down.
my family loves it. Like everyone in my family
that's
loves
why.
it. I love it. Like, I can watch that, like, half the time I'm working on stuff, Seinfeld's on in the background. If it's not, it's the next thing I'm going to say.
What is the next thing?
The Office.
Okay.
Oh.
I can accept that.
That's a funny one, because I remember being in high school and everyone's talking about The Office. Like, all these kids are like, The Office, you got to watch The Office. And I remember I was like, I watched an episode one day and I was like, this shit's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not interested. And then... come like I think it was just last year I might have watched the entire season.
Hilarious.
And I watched it. I'm going through it again now, probably halfway through. It's just like background now, but
yeah,
definitely had to go through that.
Yeah,
one of my favorite shows now.
In the beginning, I hated it too. Whenever I was in, it was right whenever I went to college in 2009. Everyone was watching it, and I might have been just too dumb to understand it.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
I was just like, this
I thought it was stupid.
It's not good. and then I love it now. Like, it's one of my favorites. Third choice.
Third choice. Probably gonna have to say it. Silver Linings Playbook.
Oh,
you ever seen it?
Come on, bro.
Some people think it's girly. I don't.
Oh my!
I love it.
Hey, I'll cry to movies. I don't care about it all. I embrace it all. Silver Linings Playbook. I mean, I know you didn't listen to the movie episode because I mentioned it. It's one of the best. Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence, Robert De Niro.
I love Bradley Cooper. He cracks me up in that movie. Like,
yeah.
Even how serious it is, it's so funny.
Absolutely hilarious.
And Robert De Niro, like their arguments, like it's too funny.
Yeah, that is the. Come on, Patty, sit down. He's moving the remote. Like, you can't beat that.
And whenever he goes in there, like, I don't even know what time it is in the morning with that book, explaining it, like he's how fucked up.
I'm not apologizing for what he's doing. I'm not apologizing for him. Man, that's a seriously a wonderful movie.
Yeah, and just the whole storyline is great.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
And when he goes to the friend's house for dinner, that's fun.
Chris Tucker in there. He goes Metallica. It's too good. All right, do you read it all?
Yes. Well, I was on a reading kick for a while.
So I'm not going to ask you readers. You
No.
get to pick 3,
You can do reading if you want.
but I'm not going to because we'll do
I don't
both.
play video games.
I'm not going to ask you for video
Alright,
games.
alright.
I heard you say that. I was going to ask you your 3 favorite skate shoes.
Skate shoes?
Yes.
That's tough.
Is that a tough one? I can
I
ask
can
you.
still do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
Right now, currently, it's the Nike SB Blazer.
Yeah.
Love it. It's like a sock.
Yeah.
It's perfect. But
My feet are too big for it.
growing up, I want to say the most memorable shoe I had, my favorite shoe I had was the Costin 6 from S.
Yeah.
It was black with like this white toe cap type thing.
Yeah.
And I remember getting those and I was hyped.
You loved it.
Yeah. And then this is a toss up between the Nike SB Dunk and ice creams. Because I had an ice cream kick when I was younger too. I had
Yeah.
every colorway, skated them all.
Where'd you get them?
Finish line.
Yep. I bought the only 2 pair that I ever had. I got at the Discount Champs in Century 3 Mall. I got them yellow. I can't remember what the words were, but I ended up giving them to Zeds.
Yeah.
And I think Chu bought them.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, because whenever I walked in there, he was like, "Oh man, you guys are killing me." He was like, "Why'd you get rid of these?" And I was like, "Just let them to another person, dude."
Yeah.
I kept my the board flip, the gray and pink ones, the blueberry one, or what are they called? The wild berries, or
The dark gray and pink?
no, they're light gray. I can't remember what they're called. But regardless, I have a pair still, and I bought them real cheap. I think I think that they were $36 for both pair.
They definitely didn't sell that well to the general public.
No,
But if you
no.
knew about them,
If you knew about them, you
They
knew
sold,
about them.
yeah.
I remember walking in there and being like, I don't know why these are on the clearance rack.
yeah.
Bought both of them.
I remember, because I remember when the ice cream video came out and I first got them, and I was like searching on the internet, like getting them like for whatever retail was, and yeah, I do remember going to a Finish Line and I got them for half off or whatever.
What's your
it
favorite
was.
skate video?
Favorite skate video? Probably Static 4. It's like Static 4 and 5, but just Static 4. It's like, it's like both disc in one, but it's Static 4. Definitely number one. And the premiere for that was the best premiere I ever went to. OneUp held it at this theater in Oakland.
Really?
Yeah.
When was that?
I'd have to double check what year it came out. At least
I bet I never seen that.
5-6 years ago. I don't know. I don't want to say it because I'm not positive.
Yeah, that's
But
all right.
it was a while ago.
All right. Third category, 3 things to listen to.
3 things to listen to. Gonna need a little bit of everything. Would probably do the best of Sam Cooke. That would be on there for sure. I listen to him almost every day.
For a split second, I thought you meant Sam Hunt.
Sam Hunt.
And I was gonna be like, what?
Nothing against that, but
No,
definitely
that's trash.
Sam Hunt,
Yes.
pop country.
Yeah, dude, I don't get it.
I like country, but I'm not too into the pop country now.
Yeah, the pop country is the only thing I can't do. Give
Yeah.
me some Alan Jackson all day. George Strait, little Tim McGraw. I'll go all day with it. But
Next, I'm gonna have to say Toby Keith.
what?
Yeah, that probably was out of left field.
What?
My family is big Toby Keith. We just went to the concert as a whole family. I had vintage tees for the whole fam. It was great.
Wow. Toby Keith. You guys are that big Toby Keith fans.
Yes.
Jeez.
I went to the concerts when I was like 8 years old with them.
Yeah, I used to go to them too.
Had a beer spilled on my head when I was a kid.
It's a memory. I could probably sing a good bit of Toby Keith songs, but I definitely did not expect that.
Another one I listened to on the way here, you mentioned something about I love this bar.
Oh yeah, I love this bar.
You said it in one of the podcasts. I forget what it was about, but
It might have been Sarah McAlley's. Who knows? I think we talked about Toby Keith. I know I talked about Toby Keith on here before.
yeah.
All right, third.
Third,
Toby Keith.
this one's got to be a hip hop album. Could I take like a series
I'll allow
in
it.
a sense? I don't know if you ever heard of him. His name's Amir Obey.
Nope.
And he did this series of 3 tapes with like 4 songs on each. And I can like it's something that I relate to, and he's one of my favorite artists. If he
Is it rap?
It's rap, technically, yeah.
Is
It's
there
more
lyrics?
like it's more slower.
Lyrics?
In a sense. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like some out there beats.
Is it like heavy type shit, like a story, like some Immortal Technique type?
I'll play you a quick song after, but it's more like I wouldn't say depressing, but it's more like it's what you listen to. Like I'll listen to it in the car alone. And it's like you can
Listening
relate
to
to it
Brand
and
New.
think about it.
Yeah. I would have bet every bit of money in my life that you would have said anything but Toby Keith.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect it.
On the way here, I was like, I'm probably gonna say Kush and Orange Juice in there, but then I was like,
Cushion Oranges is a good choice.
that definitely is one you can always just play, like especially if you're out like
Yeah,
chilling.
that's a good one for sure. All right, those are good choices. Second to third to last, I guess, is the Death Row Meal.
Yeah. You can pick just one thing or multiple
Whatever you
things?
want.
Definitely would have to throw. You ever been to Las Palmas?
Yes.
Definitely Las Palmas.
Yes.
Any chance I'm by there, I get them. That's definitely on there. And have you ever had Dante's pizza?
No. Where Dante's, is it in South Park?
It's in South Park.
Yes, I have.
Dante's is on there.
Yeah,
A nice
I've had
Dante's
that.
pizza.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I don't remember if I liked it or not. I remember having it a long time ago.
Yeah. That's my personal favorite. I know you just had Padama's on here.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
Never.
Nah.
Man, it's good. What is Dante's? Is it like a traditional slice?
Yeah, they have slices. Or it's just,
like
yeah,
is it like New
pretty much-
York? Like thin? Like
Yeah, it's like, in a sense, like Fiore's.
oh, okay.
Like just normal pizza.
Sweet
style.
sauce or tangy?
Sweet sauce.
Oh,
Sweeter than Fiore's, I think.
I'm not a Fiore's. Everyone swears by it.
I know.
Fucking
We act-
soup bowl. It's listen, I ain't being
We just had it the other night.
I'll eat it. I like it. I'll eat it, but I am never in my life going to be like I want this pizza because every time I get it, it's just a big fucking bowl of melted sop.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on.
You usually have to blot that with the paper towel.
Not even that. If you could blot it 50 times, but if you cut it with a pizza cutter and you pull a slice, cheese is off. If there's a 12 cut slice, 11 of them
Yeah.
are losing the cheese when you're pulling it off.
Just gotta let it cool down.
Put it in the freezer if you want to hold it, but regardless, it got a good taste.
And I would add a bag of hot fries.
Hot fries. What about a dessert?
Dessert? I'm not a dessert guy.
Really, I could have guessed that about
That's
you.
like one of the biggest things. Like you go to
Toby
any
Keith and
family
then
thing, any
dessert.
party, and it's like, you don't want cake? You don't like cake? I wish I couldn't eat cake. It's like, I just don't like it.
Do you like any sweets?
Yeah, like I like a milkshake here and there.
That's not a fucking sweet. That's a drink.
I like a Dairy Queen ice cream cake.
Oh, that's it. I turn 30 next week, and that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, that's
Dairy Queen ice cream
that's
cake.
the best.
My birthday's in the summer, so it was always hot as fuck. So
The
ice cream cake was always on deck. Just shove all that vanilla off and just eat the chocolate part.
I love the black crust in the middle or whatever that chunky
Stupid.
stuff is.
That cookie crust.
Cookie crust.
I'll throw all the vanilla away. Won't even think twice about it. Okay.
I was about to say, do you get a beverage at this meal?
Yeah, you can have. What do you want to drink?
Corona.
You like Corona? Is that like your beverage of choice?
Favorite beer.
Really?
Yeah, like.
Oh, I
like
thought you were just trying to be like edgy. Like
No,
I'm gonna
like
have a
I
Corona.
told you, like, I mean, not like I drink beer every day, but I drink coffee in the morning and then mainly just water. And I'm not like too big on pop, but I do. Yeah, Corona is my go-to.
All right, I like a Corona. Corona with a lime.
Yeah.
In a nice bottle. You feel like Dominic Toretto from Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, they didn't have the bottles today. They usually have the 24
Second to
ounce
last
bottles, but they were
thing
out.
we do
That's the
is
best.
something called the Turner's Crate. I'll Call You Right Back is proudly sponsored by Turner's Tea. Shout out to them for all the support and keeping the lights on. This is a segment where I get each guest to submit a question of their own into the crate, and I have the current guest reach in and grab one and answer it to the best of your ability.
Forgot about this one.
Yeah.
All right. If you had to live the rest of your life as an artist, what platform or medium would you choose? Cody Baker. I feel like that question's easy for me.
Yeah.
Definitely would have to be designing. I think my favorite thing about designing is making the ads, as I find. Like, at first, it's just you create a bunch of things and do all these different things, but now doing the advertisements for the brand is probably my favorite. And then doing all the advertisements for Zeds, have so much fun with that.
Yeah, like getting creative with it.
Yeah, like doing like the Luck of the Irish one. Like,
yeah,
just come up with an idea. And
I
then
guess
just do it.
I didn't really ever understand who did all those. Is
Yeah,
that you that does
yeah.
all that? Yeah, that's pretty funny. It's cool because it's like it's stuff that we relate to.
Yeah.
It's like I knew exactly what that was. That's pretty sick. You have to pick another one because we already did that one too.
Oh, you already did this one?
Yeah, someone picked that out of like fucking 100 questions. So it's just the luck of the draw.
I was going with pink because that's the color of sports. All right. If you were a WWE wrestler, what would your gimmick be? And would you be face or a heel? Be a face or a heel?
That's from Battle Monkey.
Yeah, DJ Battle Monkey.
Yeah. Do you understand the question?
I don't.
So a heel is like kind of like an asshole. Like you
Yeah.
could be the villain.
All right.
Or and a face is like a baby face, is a good guy.
All right.
So you could either be a good guy or a bad guy. And you know, some people have like they'll carry a fucking snake out with them. Or,
all right, all
you know,
right.
a bat, like Hacksaw Jim Duggan at a fucking 4x4.
All right.
That's a good question.
That is
very
that's
random.
a tough question.
Yeah, Badama's question was good too. It was, would you rather have no condiments for the rest of your life or 5 times as many? So, like, if you ate a hot dog and you would normally squirt 1 squirt of ketchup and 1 squirt of
Yeah.
mustard, you have to squirt 5 times as much, or you got nothing. And you're like, damn, that's a crazy question.
All right. Well, I'd definitely be a good guy for sure.
You think you'd be a good guy?
Yeah. I feel like I'm not a mean person anyways. I don't get angry often either. Only skating.
Yeah.
But the gimmick.
That's the hard part, I think, of the question, is to figure out what it would be.
Yeah, what you would walk out to or with.
Did you watch, like, wrestling when you were younger?
Not that much.
Yeah.
Like, I played with the toys
Yeah.
at friend's house, but I have no idea.
What your gimmick would be?
Like, other people's are what? Like, I mean,
Like-
Stone Cold's got the beer.
Stone Cold got 2 beers.
Yeah.
You know, Ric Flair got the woo and the feather boa.
Yeah.
You know, the Undertaker got a fucking coffin that he comes out of. Mankind got the sock. The Rock got the eyebrow and the sunglasses.
It's going to sound pretty funny, but this is all I can think of. I feel like I'd walk out there in a trench coat with nothing on but a little underwear thing.
Yeah.
And I'd have a hat on and some glasses, and I would just take it off, and it would just be unexpected.
That would be your gimmick?
I don't know.
That's all right.
Is that
I mean,
all right?
that's what everyone wears. Every single person in the wrestling has like fucking like underwear on.
I know.
It's interesting to think about the gimmicks though, but that's a good answer.
I don't know. I don't think it was.
You don't think that's a good answer?
I'll take it, but
You can think of another one.
maybe tomorrow will sound good.
You could skateboard down into there
Just pop a tray flip and hop in.
and beat people with a skateboard.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be a good one. No
Beat
one's ever
people
done
with a
that.
Skateboard. Maybe that'll be it.
I'll let you have that one.
Roll down, do a tray flip, pop the board up, hop in with the skateboard, and just smash them over the head.
Right over the head, like Harold
Snap
Hunter
the board.
and Kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Like whack.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, rest in peace, Harold Hunter. And the last question that I ask everyone is, if you could have a conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be and why?
I'll first off say I never got to meet my grandfather, my dad's dad. I know you don't like that answer, but I want to say that.
That's all right.
Ward Crump. I would have loved to meet
Ward.
him. I never
His
got-
name was Ward.
That's my middle name.
Ward.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a powerful name.
Yeah.
Ward. It's like you could either be very scary.
Yeah.
I feel like a scary person would have that name, or
A
like
powerful man.
Yeah, like a very powerful, like a football star or something. Ward.
But I was thinking this is the toughest question you ask.
Of talking to who they would talk to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why it's last.
I think I already said his name once. Saw him live last year, and it was the best show I ever seen. And just to be in his presence too.
Travis Scott?
Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh,
Travis Scott.
I was like, if you tell me Travis Scott right now,
No,
I'd
I
have
saw
been
Travis
upset.
Scott when he opened up for Juicy J like 6 years ago.
Was it all right?
It was at Club Zoo.
Ugh.
But Juicy J was sick with 3 6
Yeah.
Mafia, but
Juicy J is sick for sure.
yeah.
Travis Scott, I don't hate it. Like, I don't hate his music,
Yeah,
but like,
the hype is unreal.
I don't get it.
Around the whole
Reese's
thing.
Puffs? On some Reese's Puffs? I saw people paying money on Instagram for
At first they were, but then they realized like they're everywhere.
Yeah,
Like,
you can get a giant
you can
eagle.
still buy
How much
them
were
now.
they selling at Zeds?
We just sell for like $5 a box.
Reese's Puffs?
Yeah.
That's that's another good part about Zeds. You guys aren't waxing people.
No, like
you guys
they're
are
not
just down there. Good
You
people.
I could go to the Giant Eagle on my way to work, pick up 10 boxes if I want. Like, and kids come there and they think they're exclusive. And
But
it's
weren't
like
they
$5.
not in?
At first, they were like they popped up gradually,
Yeah.
and people thought it was crazy. Like, oh, we got to get them now, and they bought all the boxes. And then like a week later, they were everywhere.
Yeah,
And then like they were there a week later too.
it's bizarre, dude. Fidget spinners, dude.
Did you have one?
Yeah, I had the meanest one.
Yeah, of course.
Did you have one?
Of course.
I had like this brass one that had punched in it. I usually tend to go a little bit too much. Like if I like something, I just dive in, and if
Yeah.
I don't like it, it just sits there. But I think this was a really good interview.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
I think that you're an
I hope it
interesting
went well.
person.
Hope people like it.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. It's cool to hear about how you navigate through things.
Yeah, definitely. Would like to say skateboarding definitely ties everything together.
Who now? Where could people find all your stuff? Give your Instagram, website, whatever you got.
Instagram is Good Sports PGH, and everything we do is basically listed on there. Any updates? The website's goodsportspgh.com. It's in the bio. And if you want to get it in person, stop down at Zeds.
All new shit dropping tomorrow.
And at Friday.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
all right.
tomorrow. That is Friday. Yeah,
Yeah,
forgot already.
like people know that we're recording
Time
at the time.
flies.
Yeah, but tomorrow, all new shit. You got all kind. You got a whole run.
Yeah, got everything.
Is there a name to this?
2002.
Oh yeah,
That's the
2002.
name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first
it'll
year
be-
you skateboarded.
Yeah.
I remember. Callbacks, baby. I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone else that's listening, thank you very much as usual. We got all kinds of good shit. Patronize the good people of the city. Go buy some good sports. Go to Zeds, Streets on Carson. Grab some Turner's tea while you do it. And I have new mugs that are on the website. I'm very happy with them. They're big, 15 ounces. Fit your paw right in there. No exposed pinky on the bottom. But I appreciate everyone listening. All the numbers every week just keep going up. I keep getting good reviews. If you love me, please take a second, hit subscribe on the podcast, and just rate it and review it. You don't even have to buy anything. You don't have to do nothing. Just rate it and review it, and it'll help me out very, very much. I appreciate everyone listening. Talk to you next week. Call you right back.